Hey everybody, we are going to be looking at how to create maps in RPG Maker. So first of all, I want to start with a few tips. So tip number one is to be creative. Whether that is you creating an inside space with rooms, or creating the space that would be downstairs here with a kitchen perhaps, or whether it's the outside space of that town. You can also create much more zoomed out, like large scale things, for example, like islands where there's different lands here. So be creative with the way that you explore things, and maybe even if I went to this village, I could create a map of that snow village that you can see here. So be creative. The second pointer is to play test your maps frequently. And you can also just play test specific maps by changing the starting position. So if you wanted to test, for example, this map, what you could do is make your starting position that exact spot and then play test that map. Okay, my last pointer is for you, what you could do is if you have really, really large maps like this, there is an option to zoom right up here. Okay, so you could zoom outwards to see a large map or a large area, but be aware that the 100% zoom, so here is the zoom amount, 100% zoom is the actual view of what it would look like when you play test or actually play your game. Okay, so that's it for the tips. Now what I want to talk about is the tile sets when you're creating your maps. What you'll notice is with your tile sets, the first thing that I want to point out is explore them. There's a lot of different tile sets and a lot of different things going on depending on which tile set you choose. So this tile set, for example, has these types of tiles. As you're exploring them, you might want to also notice that there's 3 different tabs, A, B, and C, for all of your tile sets, so just explore those quite a bit. Another thing that I should point out for the tile sets is that you cannot mix and match tile sets. So this tile set here, which has specifically these items, can't be mixed with a different type of tile set, which would be this tile set here. So you will notice and you'll learn that there are basically 6 different tile sets in your game which cannot be mixed and matched. Lastly, what I want to talk about is creating your actual maps. So here's the important thing. To create your maps, what you would do is you'd have to be in the map making mode here. So here's the map making mode. The second thing I want to point out is under layer, there's a lot of different settings. The general one that you want to be under is automatic. Automatic generally will read your mind as far as how to lay these out. If it doesn't, you can get into layer 1, which would be the bottom layer of what you're creating, so things that maybe you're walking on. Layer 2, which is on top of that, layer 3 on top of that, and so forth and so forth. So, but generally what you'll notice is automatic is going to be the best way for you to create your maps. Secondly, there's 2 general modes that I use for laying down your tiles. There's pencil mode, which would be 1 item at a time. So let's say I wanted to put down trees, for example. That would be pencil mode. And then there is rectangle fill mode, which if you wanted to lay down a big area, let's say grass or something of the sort, you could actually lay that down as a rectangle fill. Okay? And then with your pencil mode, you could lay down trees or anything like that. Okay? Next thing I want to point out is the eraser tile. Now, there is no eraser tile. Let's say I wanted to erase these trees. There's no eraser tile on tab A. The eraser tile for all of your tile sets is in tab B on the very top left. This tile here will allow you to erase. So you'll notice, for example, that if I pull up my eraser tile, I cannot erase these because I have to specify the layer. So in this particular case, if I go to layer 1, I could erase the grass, or if I go to layer, what the automatic layer identified them as, if I go to layer 2, I could erase these trees. So knowing where the eraser tile is, which is in tab B at the top corner, as well as that the fact you have to be in the correct layer to erase, is an important task for you to understand. Next thing that I want you to be aware of is in a lot of tile sets, there's no doors whatsoever. So for example, in this tile set, I couldn't find a door tile. So in the case that you would like to add a door and you cannot find it in your tile set, what you can do is add it in the event editing mode as a character. So if you go into the event editing mode, and let's say I wanted to add a door here, if I double clicked under image, there are options, not just for characters, but also for doors. So you could choose specific doors that you wanted to place there. So I could place this door on that specific spot. The last point that I want to make before I make a warning, is to make sure that you have clear and logical exit and entry points, whether that is having stairs that you can go down and come down, or doors that you can go in and out of. Other pointers would be maybe buildings that specifically have entry and exit points, or making paths out of maybe plants or trees or something like that. You cannot assume that the player knows where to go unless it's very clear in your map where it goes. Here's the last warning. Do not delete maps. The danger with deleting maps is if you delete one that's higher up your list, it will delete all the maps that follow after it. And that's all.